Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeni Ji. How's it going? How many of you have been working through this intense time? So, I'm going to talk about this week's cosmic vibes, what is coming up daily. This week can be really rocky, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, we have this full moon in Cancer coming up. We have a lot of solar flare energy and that's going to continue, which is causing a lot of havoc on our planet. And my heart truly goes out to everyone in California who is being affected by these devastating fires. Like we've all experienced different traumas and situations like from Mother Earth and just so many other modalities and reasons and why and changes. And whenever it happens, we see it. This is your opportunity to really show more compassion towards people and yourself as well. It's not only the certain location, let's say California, that gets affected. We all get affected because as we're witnessing this, it can go either way. You can either open your heart to more compassion, to want to help. As I've mentioned, for those of you who've watched my predictions video and my other Cosmic Vibe series and so on, I've been talking about how this year specifically, we're starting off more in chaos, but we're going to walk towards more peace in the end, more awakening, and so on towards as we get closer to the end of this year. So make sure you tune in and watch my predictions video, 2025 predictions video. I think it's been out for like 3 weeks, a month now, for this week's or this month's or year's predictions, I should say. So now, before I officially begin, for those of you who are subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. The next live clairvoyant reading I'm going to be doing right here on YouTube will be on Friday, January 31st at 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, or 2 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to I'm a clairvoyant psychic medium. So I'm going to be channeling what messages that are coming through from your angels specifically for you. What messages am I receiving from the spirit world from your angels? Now, how are you going to have a free reading? Subscribe to my channel. I'm on Instagram, Jeni Ji Cousins. I'm out there. Make sure you're subscribed because you will get these notifications and when different things are happening, events and so on and so on. So I'm just saying, let's keep it real. Okay. So as I was just talking about, this week could get a little bit more bumpy. This week can get a lot more intense emotional. There's so many things at play. With this full moon that's coming up on the 13th in Cancer, it can be really emotional. Cancer's that water sign and so on. So, if you're a Capricorn, let's just say, you're going to be finding that you're going to be wanting more balance within your career into your personal life. You're going to find that on this full moon time. If you're Aries or Libra, you're going to be more focused on like your family dynamics more. You're going to be facing more and more and more of that, even more so. So, like Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, you're going to get affected the most. Like we all get affected during the full moon time in, like new moon in time. But certain zodiac signs get affected a lot more intense, right? So you're going to become more sensitive to situations because there's going to be a lot of upheaval this week. However, it will give you that opportunity to really open up your heart and expand. It's really important. It's all about balance. Oh, like think from your heart, speak from your mind, so on and so on. This is the time in the week where you're really going to want to be saying, what, where is my heart guiding me towards? Where is my heart pulling me towards? I'm making like a heart heartfelt decision myself this week. So I'll be able to share that with you on next week's Cosmic Vibes video. I'm going to get a little emotional, but I don't want to talk about it right now. I'll talk about it next week's Cosmic Vibes video. I'm making a decision that my heart is telling me to make. So it's really overwhelming, but anyways, I'm just saying, you know, when there is certain tragedies, when there's certain negative events, I always take a situation, let's say, no matter how tragic, no matter how negative, and I'm like, okay, let me pause, take time out for myself. What did I learn from this experience? Like how did it affect me? How did it transform me? What were the blessings from it? I always do. You know, this is why my background is Lord Ganesh. Ganesh is remover of obstacles. I have a huge statue of a Ganesh in my place. Like, it's so heavy. I think that was actually the box that I lifted up when I moved, where I threw my back out. Because it's really heavy. It's like concrete, right? However, Lord Ganesh helps us through our obstacles as well. So this is why specifically this week things could get a little intense and more rocky and so on, right? Because with these solar flares that we have that are going to continue on, they can throw things out of whack. They throw our planet out of whack with, you know, with like disasters, you know, like fires, you know, and that different changes are coming. Fires are to transmute, for rebirth, transformation. You know, like look at how our weather patterns changes, and our solar flares, boom, can instantly change our planet, which also affects our animals and yourself. So you could be feeling a lot more anxious, a lot more like off. Your sleep could be off, being stressed out, more anxious. You know, you could be get more itchy with your skin, brain fog. Make sure you're drinking a lot more water. So just kind of visualize like a solar, I mean, like a huge flame, let's say. Look at California. But a solar flare comes closer to the earth. It's like a big, huge ball of flame. So what happens? Your body starts heating up. The earth starts heating up. It can shake things up. So drink more water. Your animals could be feeling off. So pay attention, of course, closer to your animals and such like that. And as we have this full moon in Cancer on top of the solar flares with the full moon energy and Mars energy, it's, you know, it can really throw you off kilt. So that's why I'm saying really make decisions from your heart this week, because you're going to be really reflecting even more, especially over 2024. You might even have some memories spark up from your past, from your childhood. You know, how many of you guys have suddenly had like memories from certain times, like from quite some time ago, and you're like, wow, why is that coming up? Because our soul will purposely bring up certain memories and situations that you still need to heal from. You know, it's like that Chiron energy, you know, bringing up old wounds that we still need to work on and such. So you're going to find even on that third moon, or I mean that full moon, I kept on hearing third, so third eye, your intuition is going to get a lot more stronger as well. So really pay attention to your intuition and also your dreams, by the way. You know, there's messages in our dreams when we pay attention, but just try not to get it confused. Really keep track of your dreams, write it down, because some people could be getting shown things, of course, from your angels, from your guides, loved ones, animals, and so on that have passed on. Really write it down, because there can be what you're trying to process. It could be your fears. It could be like from your subconscious. It could be also showing you different things you're dealing with, coping with, and also you could get insights into the little bits and pieces that are coming in your future and so on. So just start writing down certain things that you're seeing and so on, because you're really going to want to be like more with people that you're more in tune with. You could be more in focus with your family and your career. What direction is that going towards? What direction is that moving towards? Not a day of surgery either. You know, like if we have to have surgery during, new moons and full moons, there's more of a powerful, message there as well for you. If something's pre-booked on a full moon or a new moon and stuff, it very well could be for a blessing involved. Like last minute things can happen, of course, and so on and so on. It just makes you more sensitive and so on and everything like that. So really reflect onto your dreams and such like this, because there could be, as I mentioned, like intense situations happening. So it's important to not fear these changes that are happening right now. It can be scary walking into the unknown and oh my God, all these changes and such. But what's happening is you're clearing old situations. Because your soul is breaking you free from your old life because it's bringing you towards your new life. And with this energy, with Mars, with this full moon energy and so on, things could be like, oh my gosh, suddenly this happened, suddenly that happened, and so on and so on. Look at California. People are losing their homes. Your animals are also getting affected too. Everybody gets affected, of course. We all get tested by the universe on purpose at times. And believe me, I swear and cuss to the universe. Why is this happening? Are you seriously kidding me? Blah, da, 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 da. That's just like, okay, take time to pause, take time to reflect and so on, because it will really help you grow and evolve. That's why I take a negative situation, say, okay, let me calm down first. And then let me re-examine what's truly going on. What is this teaching me? What is this really showing me? Because it will change you, it can change your direction. Like certain tragedies, it's like when people have certain near-death experiences, it can really change them. It can really like transform them in a really good way. And transformation goes either way. We can choose the direction to, like transform into the new and have major breakthroughs, or we can be stuck and stay more in line with our ego and go backwards. It all depends on what you're wanting and so on. And don't ever judge anybody because we all have our own lessons to learn. We all have our own path to walk upon. As we're entering this week, January 11th, that's the last day of the portal. As I mentioned in my last YouTube video, go back and watch it. I talked about the portal from the 1st of January to the 11th. Every single day, expect the unexpected. Every single day, it brings you into what do I want to manifest? Where are your thoughts? What do you want to happen? So many different things. I utilize that energy every day to the fullest. And there can be some unpleasant situations, but it can shake you up. It can really change you. Like even I have a very toxic neighbor, and it's actually shaking me up. I am getting tested and so on and so on. And it's actually pushing me out of here, to move towards a different direction that I was contemplating about. Which direction do I go? Do I move in here or do I go this way or that way? But sometimes we have to do something in order to see, is this what I truly want? Is this where I want to be? Is this the direction I want? So it can be a blessing to say, okay, thank you, Spirit, for showing me that. So it's all about being patient, working with balancing, seeing what it is that, is this what I really want? So really ponder on that. It can be a real blessing. I've already inquired on different locations and places that I was actually looking at before. Maybe I'm supposed to move way out of this province or country or, so on and so on. Because I've already made contact and confirmed a couple of different locations and places myself. So we'll see what happens, how this year unfolds for myself. It's really important not to look so far ahead. No, don't do that. Because changes could happen at any time. The only thing that's constant is change. So this week, really pay attention to where things are taking you towards. That's what I'm saying. Pay attention to where your heart is getting pulled towards. You're going to be looking into different options. You very well could be making some really big changes this week, really big decisions this week. However, make sure that you pause first. Pause first before it's like, okay, I'm looking at this direction now. I'm looking at maybe walking towards that career, or maybe looking at making these big changes, like whatever it is, but they're going to be big changes. They're going to be more long-term changes. So this is your opportunity to resolve certain things also on the 11th. really take a look and reflect back on what you have learned from this, but just like I'm saying, just really kind of pause, really kind of pause. Make, just take time for you. I'm just saying. And I'm hearing swimming. I'm hearing swimming for somebody just coming through right away. I never know what message is coming through from spirit. So those of you who are thinking about swimming or taking swimming lessons or, there's your confirmation to yes, do that. So if you are going to be swimming, I'm just saying, we still got to watch our water levels. It's a little kind of up and down, a lot of shakiness too. Don't go swimming by yourself. Like if you're going to go in the ocean or the sea or in a lake or somewhere, make sure you bring somebody with you. They don't have to go swimming with you, but make sure you have somebody with you. I'm actually going to start swimming in there's a pool here in my building where I'm at, indoor pool. So it is on my list to do and get back into it. Started with, like my workout. There's also a gym in here, with amenities and stuff like that too. So really pay attention to your body because even on the 14th and the 15th, that very well could be the time when you're like, I'm really starting to see and understand where my passions are, where the direction I want to move towards into with my soul's calling, my career. You could be like, I'm really going to start this business right now. I'm really going to sign up for these classes. Follow your heart. I can't emphasize that the most, right? It's important to make a decision from your mind and your heart. Yes, I get that. However, this is a week to really listen to your heart. Really listen to your heart with what direction you want to go towards, right? Like get on your vision board even more, retweak that, add things on. Don't worry about the how or the when. Even when I looked into it, into something for myself, I'm like, okay, roughly when's that going to happen? And something I was manifesting into last year, I said, okay, circle springtime for me. And that's exactly when one of my heart decisions is like, this is going to happen in the spring for me. And coincidentally enough, everything's kind of falling into place magically, right? And I'm like, oh my God, right? Like, oh my gosh, because when that happens, that could really also lead me to a different direction, which I never thought in a million years I'd be like thinking, I want to do that. But actually, I'm kind of getting pulled towards learning how to do something with something completely different. And it's from my heart. So make sure you listen to that little kind of calling, that little voice speaking, that's your soul speaking to you, that's your soul guiding you, and so on. Maybe I'll even get those messages coming through for you on that free reading on the 31st of January. Only if you're tuned in, set your clocks and your dials on YouTube here. So as we end the week on the 16th and the 17th, this is again where you're going to be a lot more creative. You're going to be like, maybe I should start, renovating my place. Maybe I should start redecorating it. Maybe I'm going to take that art class. Maybe I'm going to start writing. Maybe I'm going to get more creative and change my environment around, like whatever it is, really pay attention to those creative vibes. And you're really going to start having, how I said this is the week of the heart, and more so as we get things more shaky and things are going to shake up, you're going to be like, I'm going to really open up my heart more and really talk to people and communicate more from my heart. When you have to walk on eggshells with people, it don't matter if it's your person or not, or whoever it is, family, friend, your person, whoever. When you have to walk on eggshells, that's not your people. I can tell you that. It is not your people. You should be yourself and be authentic automatically because the right people will be with you. The right people will be like, hi, it's wonderful to see you. And, all of those things. Because you have been letting go for quite some time of certain connections that you're like, I just don't connect with them anymore for whatever reason. As you were evolving and growing, you're transforming. As I'm letting certain people go, I mean, you could reconnect with them again at another time or another year or whatever. Yes, of course. Mercury retrograde periods has a tendency to bring people back from our past and so on. And, That there's certain people that I connect with maybe once every 5 years, and I'm like, oh my God, how's it going? And we have a chat and everything like that, and then I don't hear from them, or they don't hear from me for so on. Life goes on. We all have our own lives, and so on and so on. So, this is the opportunity to really pay attention to what really needs to let go, especially during the full moon. Full moons, new moons, certain times, let go of just what you're not drawn to anymore. Let go of what's really holding you down or dragging you down. So you could feel a little bit ungrounded this week too, because as you're letting go, as you're like seeing more clarity, as you're seeing more things getting shook up and changed, and all these big changes in the world and so on that I've been talking about in my predictions video. Some of it's already happened and is happening. It can make you feel ungrounded. And this week will like shake things off, and it can be a lot more intense, as I'm saying. So, go for like a hike, especially drink more water, move your body around, because, whenever we have stresses and such, it stays glued to your body. It's like a cactus, as I say, all of these little prickles on the cactus, right? It's like taking one prickle out at a time, let's like just remove all of these things that you got stuck in your energy field. So when you're moving your body, you'll find that your body feels better because your energy is moving around. Your chakras are more in line and aligned. It's like chakras are a wheel. If you're driving a vehicle, you have to make sure it has reverse. You have to make sure it has forward so you can go back or forward. That's like your body. It's like when we have to get an oil change in our vehicle. It's the same thing in your body. You have to gas it up to make it go. You have to, have the right foods and, like supplements or vitamins, and drink plenty of water and so on. But you also have to move your body around too. So when you're feeling ungrounded, exercise, go for like a long walk or something, get fresh air, move your body around, like whatever way that you are drawn towards. We all have different, that's why I heard swimming earlier. And that would be the perfect thing, because with these solar flares, you could be feeling your body as hot one moment and cold the next, like menopause, right? So you could be feeling like off, like, oh my gosh, am I getting a flu? Am I getting a cold? All of a sudden, I'm so exhausted. All of those things, that's the solar flare. But of course, if you have any concerns, by all means, please see your doctor. I will not give medical advice. No, never. Right? So your animals will feel the same thing. Make sure you feel, you see how they're reacting too. Make sure you have plenty of water out for your animals, because they could be drinking a lot more water. And you might find that your diet could be off. You could find that what you would normally eat, you're drawn to the opposite. So, you might be finding, especially on the full moon and such, you might be finding, I'm more drawn to eating more foods with water in it, like cucumber and watermelon, maybe more like fruits and vegetables. And you might be drinking like smoothies. It's like, you know what, I can't have that meal that I'd normally have. I want something lighter, like a salad or maybe a smoothie, or, maybe I'm going to get some of those detox shots, or maybe I'm going to start changing and, like whatever it is, right? Like you're going to know. So it's really important to quiet your mind this week, especially when you're feeling off and off kiltered, like not centered, ungrounded. It's like, wow, I need space. Like yesterday, I'm like, you know what, I need to get away. There are some issues of a toxic neighbor, and I thought, you know what, let me go check out this other area over here, because I'm like in an area I'm not familiar with. I am, but I'm not. So, and I'm like, okay, let me just go over here. There's a park over there. And I thought, let me just kind of check out this park. So I went for a little walk, right? I felt, of course, better. So just really kind of be really open and everything like that, because you will get triggered, as I mentioned. So when you get triggered, take that time and space for yourself. Make sure you do that. Put your crystals outside during the full moon. Let the moon energy, like come down on your crystals and like make them come alive, and so on and so on and so on. Like I almost booked a flight at the last second. I'm like, you know what? I need to get away, but I'm like, no, it's not the time to do that. Don't let some toxicity from a neighbor draw you out, draw you away, right? So, anyways, I'm gonna pull a couple of cards just to see what messages that spirit has for you. So of course, not everybody on this planet is gonna like resonate with these cards. However, I use these cards specifically just for, YouTube. I don't use cards. I'm a clairvoyant psychic medium. Do your past life akashic records, animal communication, and so on and so on. So I don't use cards on my clients and so on. But doing these videos, yeah, I will, of course, right? So now I pulled cards that I was drawn to. Spirit, what decks do I use, and so on. So this is why I choose certain decks, right? So now I'm going to pull this deck. I was drawn, of course, to the fire deck here, automatically, California. So the deck I'm going to use here is Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards by Jade Sky. Right, look at the fire there. I have a lot of friends and family and clients in California, so my heart goes out to the entire state of California and everyone who's been affected. Like, I actually had even one of my clients yesterday, a couple of days ago, to talk about how they want to be a fireman and such like that. So it's very interesting how, people are getting drawn into certain careers or directions in their life. Sometimes all it can take, is something to happen and you instantly to get certain messages coming through. I can turn my fan on here for them. Okay. So, okay, anyways, the 11th to the 17th, what is your message from the spirit world? 11th to the 17th, message from our spirit world. Message from our spirit world. 11th to the 17th. And really importantly, you guys, too, by the way, don't let anybody stand in your way to stop you from following your dreams. This is why it's really, I always say this, I've been saying this for years. Whenever you want to make certain directions and changes in your life, or you're working on different projects, I would really, really keep that to yourself. I've been talking about that for years, as I mentioned. I've learned that the hard way, because if you start saying, I want to do this, or I want to make these changes, there's going to be certain people that are going to say, why do you want to do that? That's not going to work. They were going to put any and all of these negative things into your mind to stop you from pursuing your goals and your dreams and whatever it is. Instantly gone. Instantly gone. I've actually heard it. I had a client like a while ago, and they're all packed up, ready to move, and they had everything booked. They're almost gonna, like sign the deal. All of these different things. They had their entire family, all ready, changing schools, all of these things, and then they talked to someone. That person says, "Are you crazy? Why would you move there?" And they went on and on and on. They stopped all of their plans immediately, completely unpacked, went and told the school, what, my kids, we're going to be staying here, all of these things. And I recently talked to them not long ago, and I said, how do you feel on that decision? And they're like, oh my God, I think I made a big mistake. That's right. So be very careful who you share your plans with. Very careful. I'm always working on different projects myself, and I say nothing. If I completed a project today, let's just say, and I put it up on social media, I'd be like, there it is for anybody who's interested or whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't talk about what I'm doing. There's only very, very, very few people who I share certain things with, right? Okay, so the 11th to the 17th, what's the message from Spirit? 11th from the 17th. What's the message from our spirit guides, spirit world, universe? Message. Wow. Alrighty then. Okay then. Card that fell out. Whole self-help. Natural therapies, balance, Ayurveda. Now I said you guys are going to be making more changes. And especially during this full moon as well. You could be like, you know what? I really need to make some more changes with my body, mind, and soul. with my diet, with my health, with my well-being. We should be working on our health and well-being consistently as it is, like because toxins can come in our body, even just being around toxic people, especially, whenever you're like excited, have a good day planned, all of these things. And all it takes is to have one toxic person, by a message or something, or running into them to say something really negative that could throw your entire day off. So when that happens, you are getting tested from the universe to see where your strength is, your self-worth is, self-love, to see how you're going to react towards that. And it also shows you, what, I got a distance away from that energy because, this is where they're at, and I can't have them pull me down to where I'm walking towards. But don't judge them. Don't judge them. Even my toxic neighbor, I don't judge them, because we all have certain things that we are working through in all different levels, right? However, you have that decision to get involved with that person or situation, right? So, just be extra cautious and extra, it's like, you send that person love. It's like, what, Spirit, please help that person. Please help heal them, give them clarity, the help they need, and so on. Right? Always. And that's exactly what I've done as well, to them or anybody else as well. So, just really think with your heart. Really think with your heart. I don't get involved with them. I stay away from it, of course, but, and I live my life. So now this deck here, I was really drawn to strongly. This is Past Life by Doreen Virtue. Okay. So I also do past life akashic record readings as well, because it helps you understand why you are here, what's going on, maybe what karmic situations you need to resolve within yourself or with other people around you. This is why that you're drawn to certain careers or whatever. However, we also have karma to resolve from people from our past too. So I just really felt this deck. So let's see why. What is the message from the 11th to the 17th of January from our spirit world? That is the message. 11th to the 17th. Didn't feel that. What is the message from the 11th to the 17th? 11th to the 17th. Oh, interesting. So now this card here, male and female. We all have the female side and the male side. It's about balance. Our left-hand side is our female side, our emotions and our heart. The right side is our male side, more dominance and so on, ego. And it's really important to balance. Like, if I find that somebody's trying to use me or treat me with disrespect, that's when more of my dominant side will come out. I'll, like, who do you think me are? I'll stand up for myself and so on and so on. However, with my feminine side, my female side, this is all about speaking, like more from my heart and so on. Maybe I'm working on like beauty and so on, like motherhood situations and so on. That's why we need that balance, the yin and the yang, the yin and the yang. It very well could also be like that. Some of you have, are like, what, I'm looking at more of my sexuality more, right? Am I more drawn to men or women? Am I like more open? Am I like, like bisexual? Am I, more drawn to one specific sex and so on? So, this card is really interesting because this is a week where, as I mentioned, you very well are going to be speaking more from your heart, making decisions, body, mind, and soul, making decisions of, what, this direction that I'm in right now, it just doesn't feel right anymore. I'm drawn into I'm going to walk towards that route for me because I'm not sure exactly where it's taking me, but this is right now where my heart is pulling me towards. It's the balance, and I always say that we have a little devil on one side of our shoulder, and then we have the angel on the other side. So it all comes down to that balance, of course, right? We all can get a little bit devious at times, right? And then our angel's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? The yin and the yang. the black and the white, the male and the female, the positive and the negative, right? So you have to walk your path, of course, that resonates with you. So, certain things like that might come up this week for you as well. So this is why it can be a little bit shaky, because you could tell your partner, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm not into this anymore, or like whatever. We all have, and we all deal with certain situations. So let's talk to Stephen Farmer. Messages from the spirits of nature. Nature. Nature is Mother Nature. Nature is wildlife. Nature is, like anything. I'm very drawn to nature. That's why, whenever I get out, I'm not a city person. I haven't been for a long time. I'm more quiet community and so on. But, the cost of living here in Canada is just outrageous, outrageous, insanely outrageous. So you get restricted. So I'm not going to work 24 hours a day. No. So what's the message for the 11th to the 17th? 11th to the 17th. 11th to the 17th. We're getting closer to February. Oh my God, right? 11th to the 17th. Alrighty then. Oh, how cool. Now, of all cards, the dolphin came up. The dolphin represents listening. Now, water represents emotions. And, as we do prayers, I do prayers every day for our planet, for peace, and certain prayers, of course, for people that are struggling and all of that. And right now, let's all, pray for rain to be in California, rain in California. Those big waves that came down to California, now is the time, for those waves, the water to go on the areas that are burning. So visualize rain, visualize those fires are out, visualize, huge rainstorms coming down to put those fires out, and so on and so on and so on. Not to cause floods or any catastrophes like that, but visualize that. And, as I mentioned this week here, you're going to be making long-term goals. There's going to be things that, you very well could have started feeling that last week, as we are in that portal to start making big changes. So as we make big changes, you could be very emotional, or you could be like, oh my gosh, I feel excited. I feel like that's the way for me. So pay attention. Your heart, your heart, your heart, I'm saying. Right? So February is the month of the heart, by the way, like Valentine's Day and so on. So I'm just going to pull another card here, feeling compelled to do that. Earth Magic by Stephen Farmer again. Again, I like Stephen Farmer, actually. It's all about animals and nature and stuff. What is the message for the universe? The 11th to the 17th. 11th to the... Oh, wow, that really came out. Love and compassion. There's do I have it beside me here? Actually, no, I don't, but I do have that crystal. I'm not wearing it today, but I am. Rose quartz right here. One of my rings. Rose quartz can also help you open your heart, self-love. And what did I say? You're going to have more compassion towards others this week. And always have compassion towards yourself. Show yourself extra love, show yourself extra compassion, empathy. This is a week where you're going to be opening up your heart more and more. This entire year, by the way, you're going to be showing more compassion and love and so on. However, this week you're going to get even more triggered, more and more and more. So make sure you're speaking from your heart, your truth. Like you should always be speaking your truth from your heart anyways. Like, why would you not? There's certain people, of course, that no matter if we speak from our heart or not, they're not ready to listen. So it's like, don't waste your time, don't waste your energy. So, it's like the neighbor. They come to my door. I'm not even going to answer. I'm not even going to bother wasting my time because there's no reason to. Why would I? We're on two different levels of comprehension and consciousness, but send them love, send them healing, ask the angels and their guides to come down and help get them grounded, to help them heal and work through that, all of that. That's one of the first things I do when I have to deal with certain things like that. So look at that. Maybe some of you, will take your relationship to the next level this week. You could be maybe moving in together. You very well could be, getting engaged or getting married or talking about, let's start a family or, understanding. And even if you're ending, because the full moon endings, new beginnings, maybe some of you have to end a relationship, with someone or a job or whatever it is. And just keep talking from your heart. Keep talking from your heart. So it'd be really amazing if you guys would please like my channel, please like the video as I'm slowly building it up and so on. I'd really appreciate it. And I'm always grateful for each one of you. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how your week is going and so on. And make sure you mark on your calendars that I'm going live right here on YouTube the 31st of January, which is a Friday, 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, or 2 p.m. Eastern. Join me right here live, and I will give you what messages are coming through from your angels specifically for you. Or soulworkwithjeni.com, you can book a reading, and I will give you a lot more details because then it's just you and I specifically. There's no one else involved, just me, you, and spirit. So namaste, everyone.